today to talk about packaging. We have a special guest, Ron Sasine. Thank you so much for being here. You are here from Hudson, Windsor to really explain the ins and outs of what folks like Walmart are looking for when it comes to packaging, because there's some new things they're looking for in the food division, correct?
That's right. Well, thank you for having me. You know, packaging is critical throughout the retail supply chain. It's important that it convey the product from point of production to distribution and on to point of sale, that it communicate along that path with each of the logistics operators that need to touch the product, and finally that it convince the consumer that this is the product they want to buy when they're at shelf. The Food Division has recently put in place some new guidelines regarding the way packaging should be marked and identified as it transits through that supply chain. They've made some important decisions around how the printing method should be used and what information should be printed on a package as it moves through the supply chain.
And you have a good example of what to do and what not to do.
We do, a couple of good examples. So this is the type of information that Walmart is looking for in making sure that the package is well identified as it transits. Remember that so much of what's being done we look at with our eyes here, but in the logistics process they're looking at it with electronic eyes and technology that reads these barcodes and identifies when this product should be shipped and to which stores it should go. So this type of printing is a very common printing style called flexography, where print is applied directly to the paper substrate and the box is then formed after that print has been put in place. There's another style of printing known as inkjet that's very similar to the inkjet that's being used in perhaps even in your home. But what can happen often is it might be very blurry, or it might print in a way that is somehow
more difficult to
read for those automatic eyes. And so what happens is the operators in the stores and the operators in the logistics chain have to spend more time identifying each case, and all of those seconds add up. Walmart's Food Division is very intent to ensure that product moves faster, that it gets to shelf faster and can be sold faster. So suppliers need to be aware of this because it's the kind of thing that they need to control in their production chain, so that when the product gets to Walmart, it flows faster to the front of the store. It's much fresher when it arrives, especially in fresh and frozen, where best by dates are so important. So keeping your eye firmly on what these printing requirements are is critical for folks in the supply chain for food.
And if this isn't required in your category yet, you should probably still be paying attention to it, because we don't know if it's a precursor.
That's correct. Right now it's across food, and several divisions are looking at it in terms of how they may or may not choose to implement it. What I can tell you is at senior levels of Walmart, people are very concerned about the amount of time it's taking to get product out of the back of the store and onto shelf. And this is one way to make sure that that moves faster.
Okay, thank you so much. Good advice, Ron.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.